Today I'm going to try to do something kind of fun. I'm going to open up a new book cover and I'm going to try to make distinctions between the genre only using color and text and fonts and just using the same image for a whole bunch of different genres. So I'm going to start by making a book cover that's 6 by 9. And then I've got a little bit of stock photography. I'm just going to pick one that's kind of generic. Okay, so with book covers, a lot of the indication for the genre is just using colors and fonts. So we don't even have to have a very special picture that fits the genre. In this case, I'm just going to take this picture because I think pictures of people are usually pretty good. They're emotional. Sometimes I just like to have maybe the back of a character or the side without actually showing the eyes because it makes it a little bit more random. What you don't want to do is just take a really perfect picture from some stock photography site and not edit it at all because there's a good chance other people will use it on their book covers. So at least if you take a model and put it over a background, you'll have something a little bit unique. And I'm just getting rid of the background here. I'm doing this kind of rough because I'm not going to actually finish this up into a real book cover. So I'll go sort of quickly. Normally I would just probably have somebody else do this. On Fiverr you can hire someone to crop out the background from a picture and they'll do a really good job and be very careful. Mine's a little bit rough, but it's fine. And they'll take this background which kind of matches the colors. So it makes her look like she's kind of outdoors and cold, surviving the wilderness. With book covers, really it's all about the picture. You want really great colors and a great picture that shows some kind of emotion. That's why characters work so well. And if you've got that part right, the rest is going to be pretty easy. The pictures are really fundamental. I kind of can't fit this all in, so I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And if you make something smaller like this, then you've got to fill in the space by either adding something to the top or something to the bottom. I'm going to see if maybe I can just color this in dark in the bottom. Yeah, sort of, not quite. I'm going to add some color up to the top actually, it'll be easier. And sky can usually be faded pretty well, it doesn't have to be very detailed. And with sky you can also add some things like, if I would want to fix that sky a little bit, maybe I'll add some details from another picture, the moon. And I'll set that to luminosity to match the color, and then take out this bottom part. Doesn't quite work with the moon, so I'm just hiding the moon. And the clouds are kind of different, but it's pretty close. It won't matter so much because I'm going to put text up there anyway. So we've got a basic start. There's a picture. Now what we want to do is designate the genre based on just colors and fonts. So I've got a list of genres. Here, and let's start with the first one. So this is horror. So we're going to make a horror book cover. With horrors, we're going to need a lot of textures and graphics. So maybe I'll look for a red, grunge, blood background. You want to always use stock photography that's legal, that doesn't have any rights limitations, but you can usually find something for a desktop background. There's a lot of desktop background art that you can use royalty-free. This one looks like a really good one, but it's not displaying very well. Let's see if I can get it. So this is a rusty background texture, but that's going to look really good. I just have to get a high resolution version. Okay, I'm downloading that one. This is the other one I want. And then for horror, I probably also want some fog or mist or something. Do this one. And you might want something kind of like this. It's just abstract, scary movement. Something that looks like it could be a ghost or a monster. So while those are downloading, I'm going to go back to my art. And to make things a little bit so that it's looks like the character is really built in the scene. You can add a layer. I'm going to add a gradient layer. That just makes the colors a little more uniform. If my horror is going to be really like a axe murder mystery, then I'll need some blood like this. It's a pretty good one. So I'm taking kind of a beautiful picture and ruining it for a horror, but definitely gets a pretty scary effect if I do it that way. I'm going to try adding in some fonts. I'm just going to use the title Horror Story for now. And with horror, you want pretty rough fonts, maybe that are jagged. What you're trying to do in a horror cover, you're making the promise of fear. So you want to get your cover to make people feel nervous or excited or afraid. This one's not too bad, it's pretty basic. But I'm going to change the style. I don't like bevel. Texture is okay, gradient's okay, but bevel rarely works very well. Flat is much better. That's kind of a ghosty one. I'm looking for a bloody one. It's kind of interesting. My backgrounds are finished downloading, so I'll take a look at those. Backgrounds are just a way to add a texture and give your cover a totally different feel. This looks pretty good, but I want it darker, so I'm going to add another layer. That's better. This font isn't actually quite what I want. It's a little too thick. This one's a little better. I'm going to make the text kind of crammed together. Usually I don't like that, but for a horror or thriller, it's okay if the text is really cramped because it gives you that nervous feel. So now we've taken what was a pretty nice, pretty picture of a landscape and a girl, and we've made it really scary and exciting. I'll put an author name down here. Bebas New is my go-to font. It's a really nice, tall, thin font. You see it on all sorts of nonfiction books. That's a little too big, actually. I like my author names to have a lot of space. Makes them look more professional. That's pretty good. I'm gonna add a review up on top. I'll just use a simple serif sub-on. I haven't found a way to make a M dash in Photoshop, so I have to copy it from Microsoft Word. And make up a newspaper name. good so far. I'm gonna add a little bit of a drop shadow, I think, to this. I don't want a really heavy drop shadow. It's a bit too much, but it makes the text stand out a lot better. That's okay. You want a drop shadow that makes the text stand out, but it's not dark enough that you can really see it as a drop shadow. I'm going to move this down a little bit. And that's a pretty decent cover. This one looks like it's got a bit of a glow on it. I'm going to take the glow off. Outer glow. I'll make it a little sharper. And I might add a little drop shadow there too. There we go. And again, it's a little bit too strong. You want it to be there, but pretty light. Okay, that one's done. So I'm going to save for the web. For a full Kindle cover, if you have a 6x9" cover at 300 dpi, that's going to be about 1,800 pixels wide. We'll see in just a sec. And that's fine for Kindle, so you can just save it at maximum resolution. But for the web, that's kind of too much. Wow, my computer's running really slowly.